from Shaq's being racist,
Wang Zhu, whatever your name is, you want some of Shaq food? Come get it.
which my Asian friends didn't even find offensive, to Yao blocking Shaq's shot 3 times in a row. This is the unforgettable face-off between Yao Ming and Shaquille O'Neal.
When they said you were coming over, I'm like, who the hell is this?
Live in Shanghai at 10:30 in the morning. No human alive playing basketball. That looked like a young Olajuwon with a little shaking, baby.
But before that, do you remember when the basketball court was a playground for giants? George McCon, Bob Pettit, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Willis Reed, Moses Malone, Bob McAdoo, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They all made their mark ruling the NBA for years. I thought those days were long gone, but there's this 7-foot-tall wizard from Serbia who proved me wrong. In the 2023 NBA Finals, this guy lit up the court with a mind-blowing 30.2 points, 14 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 1.4 steals. And this means that the era of the big man in basketball is definitely not a thing of the past. Watching 2 colossal figures go head-to-head in the paint is something extraordinary. Maybe it's because that's how the game's been played since the good old days. However, there's a little wrinkle in this grand tapestry. You see, aside from Joel Embiid, our Serbian wizard, also known as the Joker, he doesn't really have a match. And no, Anthony Davis doesn't count. He's a power forward being shoehorned into playing center. Kinda like having Darvin Ham being forced into a hostage situation. This may work 9 out of 10 times against other teams, but against Joker, it's a recipe for disaster. And yeah, this is not about Joker, I know, but we're all yearning for more of those epic face-offs. The classic duels of the giants, reminiscent of Godzilla vs. King Kong. Because the last time we experienced such a thrilling and entertaining phenomenon was when Yao Ming and Shaq made each other sweat on the court. Every time Shaq and Yao are killing each other on the court, it's nothing short of a blockbuster event. On January 17th, 2003, it was just another Friday evening. But for basketball fans in Houston and Los Angeles, it was anything but ordinary, because the Lakers were basking in the glory of a three-peat, and the Rockets were rising with their star player, Yao Ming, the first pick in the 2002 draft. So, our first meeting between Yao and Shaq didn't happen as expected back in November, when Shaq was on the bench nursing a toe injury. With his famous words, "I got hurt on company time, so I'll rehab on company time." It left us all shaking our heads, but more on that later. Fast forward to Yao's 38th game. He had had enough court time to find his stride, and he had even faced off against big names like Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and Kevin Garnett. Now, Yao and Shaq couldn't be more different on the court. Shaq was this huge, tall giant, or whatever you describe as a monstrous force, using his hefty 320-pound build, and his hands where donuts look like a penny. Come on, Shaq! If a fortune teller tries to determine his future, reading the lines in your palms will take a whole day. Back to Shaq using his tremendous force to flatten his way through his opponents. He was a freight train that couldn't be stopped. Yao, on the other hand, was like the graceful giant. He always made Shaq an average person. And I know, I really know what you're thinking, and I am not going to talk about that here. No way! Anyway, Yao's game is marked by elegance and precision, from smooth fadeaways to quick jump hooks. From the first plays, Yao stamped his authority on the game, blocking Shaq's first shot and outpacing him for an early score. The game was so intense, ending with a Rockets victory in overtime, 108-104. And yeah, although Shaq outscored Yao 31-10, Yao outplayed Shaq on defense with 6 blocked shots. This match marked the beginning of the Clash of the Titans.
Clearing the way inside. Block! Yao Ming blocked it! Yao Ming at the other end.
Shaq had a pretty good recollection of what happened.
My first impression of Yao was, who the is this? Because he came in and I tried to hit him with a smooth finger roll move, block. Next play down, I tried to hit him with a fadeaway, block. Next time I tried to come up, dunk, block. First guy that blocked my shot 3 times in a row. So he's definitely the first guy I had to like change how I played against him. And he's also the first guy to get it, turn around, look me right in the face, and just shoot right over me. So that's what I first thought of when I first thought of Yao.
Every Yao-Shaq game was as exciting, and it even caught the NBA's attention, prompting them to schedule a special Christmas Day match in 2003. This was unusual, given that the Rockets hadn't made the playoffs the previous year during Yao's rookie season. Their first encounter drew a staggering 3.3 million households to their TV screens, rivaling the viewership for Magic Johnson's second game post-retirement. Realizing the potential in this matchup, the NBA capitalized, bringing a whole new audience from China. And the result of that Christmas Day clash? Shaq had edged on paper, but the real winner was Yao, as the Rockets claimed victory 99-87 by setting the tone early and maintaining the lead throughout. The Rockets and Lakers went head-to-head 3 more times that regular season. The Lake Show came out on top 2-1, but the real fireworks sparked when they met in the 2004 playoffs. However, it wasn't always the Yao versus Shaq showdown we'd hoped for. Yao often had to contend with Karl Malone, a 19-year veteran, while Shaq had to deal with the likes of Kelvin Cato, Mo Taylor, and Clarence Weatherspoon. When the dust settled, the Lakers emerged victorious in the series, taking it in just 5 games. Surprisingly, the two giants didn't lead their teams in scoring averages. Adding to the irony, Shaq had his best scoring game of the series during Game 3 in Houston, which his team lost. He scored 25 points to Yao's 18, but the Rockets still won with a 102-91 final score. Remember when Shaq said he'd heal on company time after getting hurt on company time? That's the kind of attitude that led to his feud with Kobe and him being traded away from LA. On the other hand, Yao started experiencing troubles with his foot after the 2004-2005 season. This colossal showdown was starting to lose its shine, and things were never quite the same. The Rockets weren't championship contenders until Yao retired in 2011, and Shaq became a wandering player hoping to snag one last championship after his last successful season in Phoenix in the 2008-2009 season. And if you take a step back, Shaq and Yao have fond memories of their matchups and spoke highly of each other. O'Neal thought Yao could have been one of the top centers in history if injuries hadn't slowed him down. And Yao said that he looked up to Shaq as a kid.
When Yao Ming was young, he used to write me letters. Well, he said, man, this kid's been idolizing you. I didn't want to tell you, but he's been idolizing you, been writing letters, show him a little bit more. I was just trying to, I'm Shaq fool, and you come from over there. So, but people, they actually, took it the wrong way. But my father was very upset. He said, you need to show this young man. So when I got home, he used to send me Christmas cards.
Yeah, you guys have a really cool relationship.
Yeah. So every time I go to China, I just try to, reach out to him.
And who could forget when Shaq's Hall of Fame speech turned into a comedy roast?
People like to say he's 7'7", but he's really like my favorite convenience store, 7-Eleven.
Even after Shaq once mocked the Chinese language and had to apologize,
O'Neal said he was joking and has since apologized for offending anybody, but the OCA says that was, quote, a hollow excuse to justify his prior racist statement.
Yao said he was never offended by Shaq's antics, emphasizing the importance of understanding and connecting with different cultures. Their head-to-head duels might have been cut short for various reasons, but I bet true fans wish they could see battles like these again. This is Heroes of the Courtside, your stop for the NBA's most obscure yet fascinating stories. Thank you for watching.